Welcome back. Well, a heated race all the way to the finish line. Trump-backed candidate Dr. Mehmet pulling ahead of contender David McCormick after a recount to win the Pennsylvania Senate primary. He will now face off against Democrat John Fetterman in November. Joining us right now is the man himself, Dr. Mehmet Oz. Dr. Oz, it's great to see you this morning. Congratulations to you.
Well, thank you very much. Good to see you as well. It was a tight race. I think we've unified the party again. My competitors in the Senate race have come on board, endorsed my candidacy. Dave McCormick was very gracious in his concession speech. And I've got Jeff Bartos and Carlos Sands have done events with me. So it's allowed us to unify the GOP. The key focus for us now is John Fetterman, who many folks may not know that much about, but you should, because he's way to the far left of Joe Biden. And we've got pretty clear plans on how we can differentiate ourselves and take our state back in the right direction.
Yeah, and that's what I want to ask you about, Dr. Oz, because we want to look at your race as one of the important races of the Senate. In fact, The Hill says that this race is one of the 7 Senate seats most likely to flip in November. But at the same time, Oz, look at this. Democrat Lieutenant Governor Fetterman is actually leading by a 9-point margin, according to this USA Today Network Suffolk University poll. How are you going to solidify your support among Republican voters going into the midterms and take him down?
I'm not concerned at all. We will win this election in November. You know, I had $40 million dumped on my head during this primary. Negative advertising does have an impact, but it heals. And we're already seeing that by getting the other Senate candidates and the rest of the GOP unified behind me and my candidacy, we're telling one single story altogether, which is we've got a crisis in Pennsylvania. We've got inflation rates like the rest of the country is suffering from, but we have the opportunity to fix the problem. So if you imagine you live on top of the solution, which in our case is natural gas and energy, and you're not allowed to harvest that natural gas, not necessarily because of official rules, but because the government doesn't send the message that you're safe. So people aren't drilling. They're not able to send the natural gas safely to the New England coastline, for example, which is why places like New York City and Boston import their natural gas from South America or accept Russian oil. Historically, that's what's happened in Boston, for example. And plus, in Pennsylvania, we've got lower energy prices, but it could be a ton lower, which would, of course, drop inflation and make us energy independent, providing us national security. All these are realities that the women serving you coffee in the diner can sit down and lecture you on, and yet they're frustrated by not being allowed to do what they know can help our country. So as a Senate candidate from Pennsylvania, it's a very easy story for me to tell. Inflation hurts all of our savings, especially our seniors. Energy is the single biggest driver of inflation in many instances. We can address that seamlessly. And I haven't gotten to the discussions around safe streets and a porous border, both of which my opponent, John Fetterman's been having issues with. He wants to release 1/3 of all inmates in Pennsylvania. That's in the middle of the biggest murder spree we've ever had in Philadelphia. And that's where I live. Yeah. And if you're living in the city, you know, you don't want to watch gang warfare taking place on places like South Street, where I took my wife Lisa on our first date, and still, soft on crime policies articulated by my opponent they can't back themselves away from it. They're just ideologically stuck in the rut.
Yeah, I think you make great points. And a minute ago, you said that you're all rallying behind a single purpose. You're right on when it comes to inflation and gasoline. But what about the gun legislation? You talk about safe streets in Pennsylvania. Would you be poised to vote for the current bipartisan gun legislation on the table?
Well, I'm glad the Republicans and Democrats are talking to each other. There's nothing written down for me to be able to judge. I'm a strong supporter of the Second Amendment. Law-abiding American citizens ought to be able to own a gun, but non-law-abiding Americans should not. And I think that's where the opportunities are. But I've met with folks, for example, inside of Philadelphia. Yesterday we had a big discussion around this. But one of the realities is you got to teach young people about appropriate use of guns and, how to show up in their own lives. And these are bigger themes that folks in Philadelphia want help on. And Republican ideas, our conservative values actually resonate. Family values mean something to people who are struggling, and they just want us to step up and show we love them.
Well, what also resonates is getting inflation down and getting our arms around energy independence. I mean, Pennsylvania is an energy state. Would you move to want to drill in Pennsylvania? Are you looking to overturn what President Biden put in place on day one in office, which began stoking inflation?
It's my top priority. Why would you shut down our ability to drill on federal lands? That's where 1/3 of all of our energy is. And by the way, Maria, those are our lands. Everyone can hear my voice right now. Those are our lands. We should be allowed to harvest energy. But there's a bigger story here. You've got to send a message to the energy industry that you care about them, that you are going to protect them, that they're a national security imperative. Otherwise, they're fearful that some middle-level unelected bureaucrat's going to pass some FERC law or bill or regulation is going to shut them down. Again, these are unelected officials. Activist lawyers. You cannot have pipelines shut down after hundreds of millions of dollars of investments. Nobody is going to invest if you make those decisions arbitrarily.
Yeah, unelected officials. Oh, you mean like the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, who has come out with rules for companies across the board to dictate what their risks are in terms of climate change? I'm with Jonathan Madison this morning. Jonathan, jump in.
Yeah, Dr. Ross, speaking as a man of faith, I say early congratulations on your victory in November. I know it's going to be an uphill battle, but I want to get your take. I mean, you've heard the president in recent days say things like, there's not a looming recession, ignoring the evidence, ignoring the facts by leading economists, ignoring people's calls to do something about inflation and just kind of shifting the narrative to these green and leftist policies that have been on their agenda for decades. What would be your message to the president, given that you're running for the Senate office, given all that he said and the things that he's just ignoring from the American voter?
Let me put my doctor, my scientist hat on. The Green New Deal scientifically cannot work, certainly in the way that it's been written and in the timeline articulated. So let's just get back to the fundamentals of what we need as a nation. We can play science fiction down the road, and I want renewable energy sources, we all do. But in the meantime, to protect our environment, we need to get natural gas out of the ground. We would actually, and we've already seen a drop in our carbon footprint just from harvesting natural gas. If we were to ship our natural gas under our feet here in Pennsylvania overseas, it would be the equivalent of electrifying every vehicle in America, plus putting a solar panel on every roof and residential roof in America, plus doubling wind energy. That's a good thing for the environment. So Joe Biden, pay attention to the science here. Make the right decision for our country by protecting our environment, at the same time protecting our people.
Well, you make a lot of great points, Dr. Oz. Look, let's take a look at all of these gaffes that we are watching on display every day from this president. You're a doctor. Does he have dementia? Is this a national security risk?
This is part of the Hippocratic Oath is you don't doctor on people who don't want your help. I'm not taking care of him. I can't speak to that issue, but I can speak to it. It's not so much whether he's able to, but I don't like the decisions he's currently making. Let's just deal with the decisions that are coming across our desks every single day. It's nonsensical, and I think it's primarily because the far left side of the Democratic Party is ideologically stuck in the belief system that they can't distance themselves from. But I'll tell you, in Pennsylvania, there are a lot of conservative Democrats and a lot of independents who do not like what they're seeing on the far left. They will vote Republican, and they may stay Republican.
And wishing that in Texas, by the way. I mean, the border states, they can't handle what's going on, and so they are just moving to the right in droves. Do you think that's what's happening across the country? And is it because somebody else is running things? I mean, do you think that at this point he's being told by the progressive left to make some of these decisions that he's making?
Well, Biden is not governing the way he said he would govern from the middle. He's clearly being pulled far to the left. What I'm witnessing with, for example, John Fetterman, my opponent, is he's way to the far left. He's a Bernie Sanders liberal, and he doesn't think that Biden's doing enough. So that's the kind of pressure that Biden's collapsing in front of, and we can't have that. You mentioned the border. My opponent believes in an open border with sanctuary cities in Pennsylvania. And just to be clear, my biggest issue with the border is a humanitarian crisis that we have created. We are helping cartels run human trafficking operations. They're profiting off of this weakness, and then they take the money, buy narcotics, and they ship the narcotics from China across our border with the humans that they're trafficking. That's leading to 100,000 deaths a year. That's 4 times more, Maria, that have died from COVID under the age of 50. And yet that's the obstacles that we're fighting against. That's why Americans are turning Republican. And if you're culturally a Democrat, God bless you. I'm with you. Come across, join us. We've got a big message and a big tent.
Yeah. Can you imagine that these drug cartels are running the entry to America? I mean, really, they're taking home $200 million a week, and they are actually deciding who comes into America right now. No problem, according to Joe Biden.
Yeah, we can do much better. We will do better. We have to be clear and concise. We can't be arrogant and abrasive in our messaging. But you come across to people as assertive and clear with your family values, they join real quick. And I've been going around the state and realizing that. God bless you, Maria.
All right, Dr. Oz, we are all watching you, and Republicans are certainly counting on you, as this is one of the key races for the midterm elections. Thanks very much for joining us this morning. Dr. Mehmet Oz joining us in New York.